Water levels also remain dangerously high near Windsor in Sydney's northwest along the Hawkesbury River. And that's where SBS reporter Virginia Langeberg joins us now live. Virginia, is the worst over?
Well, Janice, the Bureau of Meteorology predicts that we won't see any major rain for at least the next week, although there are some possible light showers on the forecast. Meteorologists do say, though, that we won't expect to see this water recede until at least the weekend, especially in this complicated section of the Hawkesbury Nepean River system where water flows are restricted at certain sections. Now, authorities are warning people against complacency, also to be wary of possible falling trees. There is a lot of saturated soil around the place. And of course, this all comes on the back of that tragic death of a young man yesterday in this flood emergency. Today, we spoke to his distraught friends.
Yeah, geez.
At just 25 years old, Ayaz Yunus had the world at his feet. The software engineering graduate was carving out a new life in Australia, a long way from his family in Karachi, Pakistan. His two housemates, who had been living with him in Western Sydney for a year and a half, are utterly devastated.
They take me to the scene and they say, "Is that the car?" When I saw that, my legs were shaking at that time. I was, it was very hard to even stand at that point. Because when I saw that, it was the same car.
Mr Yunus was on his way to a new job as a truck driver when his car was swept away in floodwaters at Glenorrhy in the semi-rural northwestern outskirts of Sydney. He had dialed 000 for help, but it didn't arrive in time.
He was called for help and he's waiting that long to get some help and hoping that somebody will come and help him, but in the end, no help arrived. So, I mean, we all feel very sad about that, and look, he was helpless for that time.
Police say they're investigating all circumstances, including emergency response times.
Whether the windows would or wouldn't go down or whether those electrical systems would be impacted, again, that will form a part of the investigation.
Along the Hawkesbury River, scenes of devastation and the colossal clean-up to follow. Alan Dalrymple gives us a tour of his backyard, which has been engulfed by water. His house copped it too. He's never experienced anything like this in his 29 years living at his home in Londonderry in Sydney's northwest.
Yeah, well, they lifted tin off, so we had to get up there in the rain and secure the tin back down, but the water had already gone in and damaged all the inside of the roof. So we copped it. Everything, cupboards, the whole show, anything that not be flood proof is buggered.
In nearby South Windsor, locals have been picking up the pieces, but the flood threat remains ever present.
Luckily it was just the yard. The house itself didn't get any real damage. We were blessed, we were. Bit of a fright.
6 evacuation orders across New South Wales were lifted overnight, but major flooding still on the Hawkesbury. Thousands still can't return home. A full damage assessment still not yet clear, but the Premier says the state should be braced for more disasters such as this.
Can I just please extend again our hope that everybody takes those cautions seriously. Please stay out of floodwaters. Just because you may have heard your local river has peaked or that the worst of the rising waters may have ceased, the currents underneath the surface are very strong.
Emergency crews are still trawling the swollen rivers, looking for residents and restocking supplies. In Sydney's southwest, 9 campers and a dog stranded in Wollondilly Forest had to be rescued by the Navy. In the Hawkesbury catchment, residents of Richmond can only get across the north side by boat. A couple of days of sunshine have helped settle the nerves for some, but light showers are on the forecast tomorrow and early next week. With communities now enduring days of this disaster, authorities continue to appeal for people not to become complacent. Virginia Langeberg, SBS World News.